Shrikes are a passerine bird of the family Lanidae. They're relatively small in size and reside in open habitats with short grass and scattered shrubs or trees. Their method of acquisition of sustenance is quite intelligent, as they use tools from their hunting methods. They take small vertebrate creatures and impale them on sticks. That's mental as fuck. Hi all, Major here. Who's ready to click some heads, get some sweet trick shots, and whatever that whole bird thing was? Well, today we're talking about Shrike, everyone's favorite Rule 2 enjoyer and one of the biggest ego bursters in the breach. Now. To all of you about to type, tier list says that she is bottom tier. She can't be good. Why are you wasting your time making a video on her? May I ask you to gaze your eyes from the cold mountaintops of Dawncaps to the arid deserts of KSC, from the unruly lands of Skyrat's Run to the lush streams of the Underrot, from the Nerdfield Academy to whatever is happening at Chaos Steps, from Site 38 to that one really cool island in the grind. Look how cool it is. That's so cool. From the machinations of the machine to the Stormlords Industries. Notice, across the entire breach, not a single fuck to be given about your tier list. Sorry to say it, but Shrike doesn't suck. You do.
They didn't expect the double!
Shrike is Supervive's resident sniper. She excels at deleting enemies from range through hitting skill-based shots with calculated positioning. And though she may be one of the easier characters to start with, her difficulty directly scales with your MMR and time played. The better the enemies get, the harder she is to play. It's that simple. She initially seems to have very limited capabilities for approaching fights, very static win conditions, and not a lot going for her to make her more dynamic. But I'm here to say, that's bullshit. She has so much more going on than most of the other hunters. And the mastery ceiling with her is so high that playing her so much these last few weeks has completely changed my perspective on her. She's so fucking cool. Right? Thanks, Chow Yun Fat. Also, I understand that she is the heartthrob of, well, everyone. And we all remember when the splash art of her was released, and every person who saw it said, in unison, would. But I have a hard truth for you. She has other goals. She's driven to protect those around her. She ain't gonna fall for you.
Your feelings for her are not real. They are real to me!
Shrike's primary is True Talon Rifle. Take aim with your rifle, and after a delay, fire a moderate speed projectile that deals high damage, dealing less damage the closer you are to your target.
Bitches love cannons!
This is Shrike's rifle. There are none like it, but this one is... Hold up. Here we go. The worst primary fire in the game, according to a lot of gamers. You know, a completely impossible ability to hit. Just can't hit it at all. Well, I don't mean to burst the bubble of the best players of all time, but her LMB doesn't suck. It's just hard to use. How could I say such a thing? I know, how scandalous of me. Shrike's primary is arguably one of the most misleading abilities in the game, in the sense that when you first start playing, first use it, and play against it, you think it's one of the strongest, easiest to use abilities in the game. But the more time you put into the game, the more you realize.
You've been played.
Since her shot is delayed, predictable, not the longest range in the game, not the fastest projectile, and has a slight lockout stage as the shot is fired, it ends up being not too hard to dodge and can feel useless at some points. That being said, it's fine that it has those limitations, as it is the highest damage primary fire in the game, and it works hand in hand with their passive. As well, it is a sniper, so you want to keep a good distance from your target to maximize that damage. See, Shrike has a very sensitive nose, and when sweaty hunters get close to her, she is sickened by the smell and does less damage, so you want to keep them at the Grinch range. Now, you may say, hey Major, you only talked about the negative things, surely this ability sucks, right? Wow, that is weak. You really would just give up that quick? Do you think Simo Haya complained about his conditions? No. He just stuffed snow in his mouth, acted like a boss, and took a bunch of invading Russians to finish winter camp. Simo Haya wasn't a little bitch, so you shouldn't be one either. There are a lot of ways you can make Shrike's primary work in your favor. Focus on how you aim. Don't just keep your cursor on the enemy. The projectile has travel speed, and you're giving the enemy a chance to dodge. Gotta adapt a bit to hit your target. And if you're gonna keep your cursor on the target, be ready to react at the last second, or to slightly lead your target as needed. You can also use the laser the enemy see to your advantage. Play mind tricks, aiming at a different enemy in the last second, then swapping targets. Also, if you're having trouble keeping your mouse on a target, don't forget that you can use your feet to move yourself to
stay on target.
I did it. For some more advanced aiming, you can keep your cursor completely out of view, then flick it in last minute to pop heads. There's also an aiming style that's a lot harder to pull off that I like to call seizure aiming. Just flick your mouse around like you have lost all motor control function in your arm and see a doctor to check on your cells. Then put it on the enemy at the last second to hit them. It may be the power of love, but man, it's hard as hell to pull off, and your hand will hurt more than after playing certain flash games. The one last thing I want to mention about aiming Shrike's primary is Z shooting.
Ladies and gents, I present you Z targeting.
No, not that. What? I'm talking about using the Z-axis to your advantage. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Z-axis is the vertical axis on a plane which represents height. This is the thing that's keeping you at your 5'11 energy. In Supervive, the Z-axis is extremely important and dynamic in the way that it works, and Shrike is one of the best hunters at abusing this. See, when you're below the 0 point of the Z-axis, all of your shots will go up to the 0 point. You can use this when off the side of the map to mislead your enemies into thinking they are safe. But then, surprise! Physics is your bitch. Her primary also becomes a lot better when enemies are over the abyss. It's a lot harder to dodge when you literally have nothing to stand on. Most characters don't have enough movement abilities to dodge your abilities over the abyss anyway, and you don't really need to try to spike, just
Take the shot!
the fuck? And I think that's it for her prime, fuck, give me strength. Shrike's passive is Raptor's Mark. When Shrike hits an enemy with her primary or ult, she marks them. Hitting them with either attack again cleanses the mark, taking a significant amount of the target's health with it. Arguably, no other passive in the game is as integral to a character's identity as Shrike's is to her, except maybe Jules. See, Shrike's primary may do a lot of damage, but a lot of damage is nothing compared to a metric fuck ton of damage. After you hit your enemy with one shot, your next shot is their sentence. That was weird. Making sure that you're able to hit that second shot is essential to playing Shrike to her potential. Being able to an enemy at almost any time is so pinnacle to her threat in a fight. Did you guys hear that sound? As she truly embraces role 2, she really excels at 2-tapping people, but honestly, it's like she's shooting 3 rounds, as popping the mark effectively does the same damage as a regular shot, ensuring the okay, what is going on? Now, this is also one of the reasons that finishing an enemy as Shrike can be difficult. When baddies get hit by that first shot, they realize they're at the barrel of the gun, and they need to keep their head weight down, stay out of the way of your shots, and stay in your safe space to limit the damage. With that last thing I said about keeping close, it's important to know, her passive has no minimum range, so sometimes it's better to get in close to confirm you're hitting your mark, rather than just going for a max range shot. Barrel stuffing is an actually viable strategy for your enemies. Why can't I say your passive is good at what the Now, since I have talked about the main 2 ways that you'll be doing damage to Shrike, let's talk about what she has to confirm her damage and ability to okay, what the fuck? Shrike's secondary is Dive Bomb. Shrike lobs an explosive in a target direction. A short moment after it lands, it will explode, dealing damage, stunning, knocking back, and cremating wisps.
Now I remember. Explosive!
Free throw your way to victory. Shrike's bomb is an essential part of her kit, great for confirming kills, disrupting fights, zoning an area, causing property damage, 2-framing, and is an amazing tool to keep tools off of her. Shrike Jordan is the queen of catching enemies at range. Her bomb is a very dynamic tool for confirming alley-oops, either to extras or to the main character. Its range is no joke, and if the terrain permits it, the range can be extended further. The fuse timer doesn't start until the bomb itself stops moving, so you don't need to count to 5. 3. It also bounces off all natural terrain in the map. You can use this to bounce and catch players unaware by using
Simple geometry.
Is this something wrong with my It's also a great self-peel tool. You can throw it as far or as close as you want. So if a sweat lord is getting in your zone and harshing your vibe, you can toss the bomb close to make a safe space. On top of protecting yourself from thirsty boyos, you can use your bomb as an excellent edge guarding tool. Like I said earlier, Shrike excels when the enemy is in a disadvantaged state. So if someone is trying to get back onto solid ground, you can put your bomb right on the ledge to pop them back out into the abyss after they mantle. The timing is about the same. Thought you made it safe? Think again, fucko. The threat of the bomb itself can also be a huge tool to use in your arsenal. If you've got an enemy that's got them moves, you can limit their dance floor by going postal. Your enemy then has to decide between blowing up and getting shot, or being guided by your red right hand and getting shot. See, I told you there was a way to confirm. What What is happening? Now, I know we've just been talking about her abilities so far, but let's take a break from that and look at her lore. Shrike's parents are both dead. Wonder if her mom's name was Martha. Shrike's mobility ability is Disengage. Shrike fires a shot forward that deals damage and grounds enemies hit. The shot propels herself backwards at high speeds. The cooldown of this ability is reset whenever she knocks an enemy. Got another wild truth bomb for you. Shrike's mobility is one of, if not the best mobility ability in the game. Its momentum and distance it lets you travel can rival Luna's movement. Its utility is higher than basically any other mobility in the game, and it really raises her kit to a level above what she would have been with some box standard dash. Her dash doesn't suck. You suck with it. The slight delay on it, the fact that it sends you away from where you're aiming, its projectile that is honestly harder to aim than her main shot, and the fact that she only has one makes it a fairly hard ability to use. It's especially hard to use in aggressive ways. The standard use for Shrike's mobility is just to quickly get away from an enemy, telling them to... And it's extremely good at doing that. The only thing holding it back is the slight delay after you press the key. If you aren't able to predict an enemy coming in or react quick enough, you can get caught out while trying to escape. It is also one of the best repositioning abilities in the game, letting you rotate around fights, confirm your positioning advantages, and traverse the map in a relatively speedy fashion. She also has a few nice movement things to know with her dash. You want to jump just before you dash when able, because like a Luna, Shrike is extremely good at carrying momentum after the first dash, so bunny hopping and carrying speed with glider is paramount on her going fast as heck. She also has what I believe is the hardest tech in the game. If you dash away from a wall at almost the exact same frame that you begin to mantle, you'll be sent twice as high, twice as far. I have yet to be confident enough to use this in a live game, and that's only half of her dash. You can go full Chad and use it to secure a shot on a target with the ground it provides. Whenever you dash away and hit a target with the ground, your next shot is all but guaranteed to hit. They just have to sit there and take it. This can also be used to confirm kills over the abyss. If you're a god gamer and hit the ground on an enemy over the abyss, they are dead. There's no getting around it. They are fucked. If they don't die, they will be in such a disadvantaged state that the Sultanate of Zanzibar will feel he had a better chance in 1896. Now, the piece de resistance. Shrike's dash can be used to get the sickest, nastiest, montage-worthy, telling the enemy you slept with their mom trick shots in the game. And as I said before, Shrike's dash is one of the highest momentums in the game, and getting a my leg resets its cooldown. Is my file corrupt? So, one of the premier plays on Shrike is to dash toward a marked enemy and hit the shot midair to get some sweet... Oh god, what the fuck was that? Is it going to... Stop! Fuck, so loud! Turn it off! Turn it off! That being said, this isn't always the smartest play to make, because sometimes you doom yourself by getting that close to Stinky Boys. You gotta be more selective about your shots and ensure that you're able to get out after you get that knock. Make sure it's safe to dive in for the free kill, or ensure that the couch isn't black leather. Not many other feelings in the game are as good as getting a dash shot then resetting into another, and getting that perfect shot will have you saying, "Jackpot!"
New kitchen gun! Sparkles like new! Clean again. Sparkles like new. I love you, kitchen gun. Just 3 shots from kitchen gun. Say goodbye. Yeah, all clean again. Sparkles like new.
Shrike's special is Scout Hawk. Summon a bird, sending it toward a target area. The bird spots and anti-heals all enemies it flies over. Recasting this ability causes the hawk to cosplay as a vulture and circle over an area, spotting and anti-healing anyone in a large area.
Bird up.
Information is just as important as damage is in any battle. To quote Sun Tzu, fuck birds. Shrike's bird friend is an extremely impactful peeping Tom that can impact any engagement, both preemptively as well as during a scuffle. Use it to gather info, stop a healing party, perv on other hunters, provide defensive vision, find out why you're being ghosted, and distract enemies from their initial goal. The information gained from a cross-screen ward can give you all you need before you approach a fight, or before you get bitched out of a fight. It's also great to put in a choke point to let you know, hey, people trying to kill you are over here. Shrike's ultimate is full bore. After a short delay, fire an extremely long-range shot that deals high damage, procs or passive, goes through non-player made walls, and over-penetrates targets. The metaphorical nail in the metaphorical coffin, Shrike's ult is one of the best finishing tools in the game. Its long range, width, and ability to penetrate almost anything makes it sound like I'm gonna make a sex joke. But it's no joke how good this ability is at finishing off enemies. It's got insane range, deals an insane amount of damage, pierces through any wall that isn't player made, goes through enemies, hitting all in the line, and feels amazing to hit. Now, it should be noted, Shrike's ult does less damage than her primary fire, but that is drastically made up for by all the other shit it does so well. I mean, it still does a fuck ton of damage, and it has the added benefit of being a much more stylish ability. The wind up, the zoom out, the overall feel of the bird screech before a chunkiest headshot really helps sell the power behind it. Since it has one of the longest ranges out of any ability in the game, most people would assume it's extremely good for sniping kills that are getting away. And it is.
From downtown! Boom shakalaka!
The shot is exceptionally good at picking off retreating targets that think they're that one lucky kid that will escape and have a long montage of them growing up alone on the streets, fighting raccoons for food, training their whole life and looking angry in the rain, hoping to come back later in life to get revenge. Instead, they get sniped from out of their view. People may say that her ult is only really usable for those long-range snipes finishing targets off, but I'm here to tell you.
Fuck that shit!
See, there are two very important things to know about Shrike's ult. First, it marks every enemy it hits, so using it at the beginning of an engagement where you have multiple targets that are stacked up is not the worst option. It still does a good amount of damage even without proccing her passive, and getting her passive onto multiple targets in one shot is a godsend. It can absolutely open a fight to start in your favor, if anything just because of the psychological warfare inflicted on the enemies. Those little children running around with the mark, wearing their meek little lives that a true hunter such as Shrike will come around the corner, purging the weak hunters from— Sorry, I don't know what happened there. The other important part to know about her ult is that there is no weak zone like there is with her primary. The damage is the same all the way through, so getting in close to finish off a marked target or finishing someone who dove onto you is always a viable option with her ult. And don't forget, knocking an enemy resets your dash, so you can dash onto an enemy team, knock one enemy, then get out almost entirely scot-free. Speaking of dash, you can dash after you start your ult and get some repositioning during the windup, giving your opponent less time to cower. The last thing I want to mention is that you have to 360 Shrike's ult when using it. It won't work otherwise. See? It just misses. The 360 makes it more accurate. Don't look at that. Don't look. Shit. I don't look at. Ah! I hope learning her abilities has helped you understand that you're not as good as you think you are, and Shrike is far more skill expressive than you're giving her credit for. But enough about how good she is, let's get into how she interacts with the rest of the game. For items, Shrike sadly doesn't have a lot of variety for her choice, at least in the base items. See, her health scaling is ass! But her damage scaling is amazing, so she has to take 2 blades, and she really only wants to pick 2 of them. Both Quick Blade and Vamp Blade are perfect for her. And though I probably have an unhealthy relationship with Grace to the point that I try to make it work on everyone, there are a few different variants you can roll for Quick Blade that are extremely good on her. Stuff like Guardian's Respite, the free stat items, Vive Infuser, the legendary ones, or Ambush. For Vamp, it's really just whatever you prefer. I ain't your mommy, or your daddy. Also, please stop calling me Daddy Major. It's weird. For powers, she is obviously very good with defensive ones like Air Blast, Delicate Barrier, Sand Wall,
Bastard.
Abyssal Scale, and Iron Fist. She also, in a surprising way, is extremely good with support-based powers, or using powers in a supportive way. Due to her usual positioning in fights, she's really great with Rescue Turtle, Medkit, and other powers to protect her frontline. With the best power in the game, Bungee Gum, she's really good at using the gun part of it, but not so much the rubber part of it. She can also do some pretty clean plays with Chonker, as you can start activating it if you are mid-air with your dash. You can also chonk defensively. Now, there are 3 I want to draw attention to for her. Firstly, Raven Spy, who, yes, I am so happy to see back. The spy really helps her lead into her role as an information gatherer, and lets her play even more around her peeping Tom bird. On top of that, it really helps her deal with enemies trying to play over the abyss. It's hard for Shrike to consistently spike, as her LNB is so predictable, but the birds help fill this weakness. Shrike also really benefits from working with the hog themselves, Brushboar. Shrike does extremely well with things that help her lock an enemy down, and Brushboar does just that. It also helps a lot getting some of the heat off of her whenever she's in a fight, working as a sort of pork shield. Yeah, pork shield. It also gives me a reason to make the intro like I did. The last one I want to mention, and the one that I arguably think is one of, if not Shrike's best power, is Grappling Hook. Don't let your overloaded high mobility melee hunter teammates trick you into thinking grapple is better on them. Shrike excels with it, not only because it's an extreme boost to her movement, which can lead to some insane trick shots, but also its ability to help her lock down a target with the ground on grapple is excellent at forcing enemies to get hit by her shots. On top of that, Shrike has an extremely tight and hard to pull off combo with grapple that can one-shot almost anyone. And it's not just a free power on Shrike. Like most of her other kit, using it well requires some practice. Also, tell your Kingpin to let you use Blink. Your plays with Blink are way cooler than his are. Now, before we end, I want to mention one last thing. I haven't really mentioned it with any of the other hunters, as it hasn't really been as important. But for Shrike, your team can really affect how easy your match is going to be. There are 2 hunters that work better with Shrike than most, both in the streets and in the sheets. Those are Kingpin and Celeste. Kingpin is pretty self-explanatory. Keep the enemy under your control, your shots will be easier to hit, but that's only one enemy. Celeste, on the other hand, is the perfect partner for Shrike.
Baddies all day!
Not only because they are both hot as hell, but also because they complement each other. Celeste's entire kit revolves around controlling space better than any other hunter, and her ability not only to relegate enemies to a certain location, but also slow a fight's flow makes Shrike's job a lot easier. It's the same thought process as using your bomb to control space. Celeste also does an excellent job at either finishing off targets that Shrike couldn't kill, or whittling them down for her. An attractive, scary ice lady makes them not realize that an equally attractive, scary sniper lady is shooting them from the side. Don't stress too much when deciding to play Shrike, by the way. You aren't Chief O'Brien. Playing her isn't torture. She has a way to play around almost any engagement. She doesn't suck. You do. Now, you may have been thinking, how do you know I suck? There's no way you could know I suck while you're saying she's good. There is, and the answer is really quite simple. See, I suck.
Fired again, and I missed, and then I missed again.
And that's it for Shrike. Playing her for this video has moved her from a character I might play every once in a while to being one of my favorite characters in the game. Not many other characters have as peak moments as Shrike does, and her ability to consistently surprise me in what I'm able to do astounds me. I didn't even know about the grapple combo until like my last few days of playing her, and I was never able to even pull it off. Just because she is hard, or because you don't do amazing things as you want with her, doesn't mean she is bad. She's just harder than most. It also means you suck. Next time, we are doing something quite shocking.
I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Oh, fuck, the war criminal's back.